Today, again, welcome everyone to the LineWise webinar of the month, backed by popular demand. There has been a lot of people requesting that we do these webinars. Again, we were doing them once every 2 to 3 weeks, and we had good people coming. Well, not good people, everybody's good, I guess, but we had a lot of people coming in, good traction, I should say. And then we stopped all of a sudden. I don't know why I stopped doing that. And then we started getting complaints that we weren't doing it. And so you're not required by any means to attend these meetings, but they will be helpful to you. People have often said, well, I don't know how to sell the product. I don't know what it does. Well, if you join the webinars when we have them, then you'll definitely know more about the product. And obviously, you don't have to wait for the webinar to learn about a certain product. You can always call me at any time that works best for you and your situation to talk more about the products. And so always feel free to give us a call. You can reach us. For those of you that have my cell phone, you can reach me on my cell phone, or you can call us at the office line, and we'll always be glad to help. And as always, you can find our information on our website at line-wise.com. So today, I have a product sample here that I'll be showing here in a little bit. Let's see if I can fit it on my screen. It's not a big TOL, but it is uh, a small product that I can at least hold for a little bit. I haven't been working out lately, so I won't be able to hold it too long, but you will be able to see it here in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and present my screen and show the product online. Uh, I've gotten away from doing a lot of PowerPoints and just showing the the website because I want you to be able to find it as well. So here, if you can't see the screen, obviously speak up. But right now you should be seeing, I'm going to go back to LineWise to show from the beginning so you know how to find it. But you go to line-wise.com as shown here in the upper right-hand corner, and that'll take you to our website. And here you would be able to go to utility, and you can find it in various places, but the one I always go to is utility transmission. And then from here, you can see all the various products, but the one for the pole sitter is right here. So if you haven't heard me say this before, then you'll hear it today, and I'll say it quite often. LineWise does not come up with its own products by itself. We depend on electric utilities, electric utility contractors, people from the different various parts of this industry have problems that they run into, and then they call us and say, Noah, we got a problem. Can you help us with it? And we're like, sure, what do you want to do? And in some cases, the line crew has already had the product put together in some way or another, but need the engineering personnel to be able to complete the product. And in this case, it was more of the B option here, where the superintendent, he's very creative, comes up with his own tools when needed, and he had this need and came up with this product, and then came to us and says, Noah, I need to come up with an engineered product, an engineered version of what I came up with. And so here was the story. As you can see, as the description underneath pole sitter says, start tomorrow today with the LineWise pole sitter, right? And that was something that he had said. He goes, I need to get stuff done today that's going to save me on my outage tomorrow. They were giving him so many hours in his particular part of the country, which is Arizona, to take out the lines, and then he was going to have to come back the next day, and he just didn't have enough time to do everything that he had to do. So here is the process, right? You have a pole in the ground, and you have the lines running on the pole, and they're going to give him an outage on those lines, and he's going to have to take that pole out and replace it with a new one. And obviously, as you can kind of see from our rendering, is it's a wood pole. We're looking to get actual photos. The customer already has the product, but he hasn't had a chance to use it just yet. Once that happens, we'll get some actual photos for you. But this is a rendering that we're showing here. And so it's on a wood pole, right? And so what he's doing in his particular situation, he's got to go and he's hydrovacing out all of the dirt around the pole, like you can see here, on a certain side of it. And that's going to be the practice. Is you'll hydro back out the dirt around the pole on this one side. And the general practice for him is he drops 3 of these pole sitters in. Essentially, what a pole sitter is a scissor jack that's been modified, right? And we're going to look into that a little bit more. But you'll drop down the pole sitter, 3 of them, as you can see in this picture on the screen, and then you will use a impact driver with a long extension to come down and drive the scissor jack out to where it presses up against the pole, and then the pole is then pressed up against the terrain around the other side of the pole. So what he's doing, the steps are he's going to hydrovac out the terrain. He's going to drop the jacks in there while he's holding it with a digger derrick or a line truck, whatever term you're familiar with, up at the top so it doesn't fall over during this process. Extend the jacks out, hold the pole, and then he's going to leave it like that for day 1. Day 2, he's going to come back, put the line truck or digger derrick, whatever term again that you're familiar with. For today, we're going to use the term digger derrick. That's what we use here in the States. You're going to hold the pole, and then he's going to go up, support the lines, preferably with the LineWise triple line lifter, or whatever form they're using today. And then at that point, they're able to take the hardware off of the lines, remove the jacks, remove the pole, put a new pole in, and then secure the pole by putting the dirt or whatever they put back in the hole there, whatever the practice is in your part of the world, and then put the lines back on the pole. This has saved him time by not having to hydrovac all the dirt out on that day. Mind you, this isn't just one pole that he's doing. He's doing several, if not more, poles at a time in one day. And so this is going to save him the hour or 2 that he needs per pole to hydrovac everything out that he's doing and just preparing that pole for the next day to be able to place the pole. Again, very simple product. This is kind of what it looks like here. And the sharp point is something that we add to this jack so they can go and get a good grip on the wood pole. Back here is the nut that the socket would go over with the extension, right? And then we've increased the base plate here to be able to have more square footage as far as what it's going to be standing up against, which is the back side of this hole here. That's the base plate. That socket is right here on the top side so you can reach it, and then that pointing section is on this end going towards the pole. That's what you're seeing in this picture. And so as far as what kind of capacity it can hold, you can see that if H, which is this one right here, is at about 7.25, it's going to hold 1,000 pounds. At 11.25 high, it's 2,000 pounds.
Gracias.
Somebody's microphone might not be muted right now as you're talking. The H at 13.25 is going to be 2,400 pounds of capacity. And when it's extended out to 16.25, you'll have 3,000 pounds of capacity. The brochure itself, we're going to download that now and take a look at that. You can download this from our website, share it with your customers. If you're a reseller, if you're a customer, of course, you can go and find it there and share it with your counterparts there if you like. But this is the brochure. It has the same picture off of the website. And then off of the back here, it gives you some more photos of kind of what this looks like. So we done covered this section here in the mid right. The picture on the low right, we've kind of talked about. This right here is giving you a section view of what it might look like down in the hole, right?
You're muted, Noah. Noah, you're on mute, sir.
I'm not sure how I muted myself, but I did. Okay. Thank you for whoever shared that. I didn't see you shared it, but thank you very much. So I'm not sure how much you've missed, so I'm going to come back and cover the brochure part a little bit more. The brochure can be downloaded from our website. If you're a reseller, you can get that and share that with your customers. If you're not a reseller, distributor, or manufacturer's rep, but you're a customer that might buy this product, you can download it from our website and then share that with your counterparts or whoever you want to show it to. We've already covered this section right here pertaining to the capacity and the picture on the lower right. This right here is a cutaway section that we have to show the jack down in the ground. You can see this one on the back side. Like I said, there would be a total of 3 in the hole. This is the one in the middle, and the one that you can't see is the one closest to us. Here is the base plate of the jack that is pressing up against the back of the hole here. And I was saying socket earlier. I believe this may be some kind of different connection. Now, if I remember correctly, to where, and I don't even remember the name of the term for this piece, but it's basically round with the hole going through it. It's to help hold the jack as you're going through it. And for lack of a better explanation, is if you had a socket or a nut on there, as the first version did, which is shown right here, then you're going to have a second form of holding it, which is what this hole at the top here in this picture was intended for, to be able to tie a piece of rope or something around there and then lower it into the hole. In this case, you can come up with an attachment that would attach to the end of your extension on your impact driver, and that would go through this hole for this horizontal hole here, and then it's all supported by lowering the extension with the jack up at the top down lower, and then now you can just drive it, and then it's going to turn and extend the jack out to where it hits the pole. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, we're going to have a chance for some questions here in a minute, and then we can explain it further if it doesn't. And again, no question is a dumb question because somebody else may be having that exact same question that you have. But that there is the brochure. Now, I want to let's see here. I'm going to close the brochure for now. And what I want to show you here on the screen, can y'all see me on the screen by any chance?
Yes.
Good. So then, if you can see me, well, I'm gonna stop the share for now because I want to show this jack. I want it to be the number one thing here. Give me a second as I figure this thing out. Stop share. All right. So this here is the jack. Let me try to hold it at an angle where you can see it. So this here is the base plate on the end right here, right? And this thing probably weighs like 30 pounds probably. So this is like a profile view of it here. I can't actually drive it out. This has that old socket on it. It would take forever to get it out by hand. But at this part right here is what I'm saying is we now have replaced this part with a flat device that has a hole going through it. And so your extension will come in through the side, go through that hole, and then it turns it from your impact driver. That there is that pointy section that I was telling you about. But as you can see, of course, a lot faster with the impact driver. As you drive this out, it's going to drive this out where it hits the pole. And again, it's going to come out in this section right here. This going against the hole, you're driving it from here, and then the pointy section here, the point here is what's going into the wooden pole. And then here at the top, you can see that hole that I was telling you about that has where if you didn't have that nut replaced on the front, you could use this piece to lower it down with a piece of rope into the hole. A rope going through this hole here to lower it into the hole that the pole is in, and then you would drive out that nut to where that that pointer is going into the pole, at which point you can now release the rope into the hole if you wanted to. Later on, you can get it out with a hot stick or something like that. But that's the product. It's not light, but it's not super heavy either. I always tell people not everybody's as strong as I am, so I make it look real easy as I'm turning that thing around. But it really is not that bad. I want to say maybe 20 to 30 pounds. In fact, I don't know if that's on our brochure or not. If it's not, we should probably add it there. If Heather Still is on this call, our marketing person, I'm going to ask her to take that note to add the weight of the product to the brochure. Now, I'm going to go back to sharing the screen right quick so that this way you can see the brochure again and then ask any questions that you have. But that is pretty much the product. Very simple. And then the whole purpose of this product is saving time today for what's going to be done tomorrow. And we thought at one point maybe it was just this one guy. Right before I go into questions, I want to present this part of it. We thought it was just this one company having that problem. It turns out a lot of companies are having this problem. Um, in the Northeast, we have a customer where they're going to be replacing some lines, and they wanted to be able to take a a line out of the shoes that are holding the lines and put them on a roller. And they wanted to go down the line doing this until they finally got all of them replaced because they couldn't afford to take the lines out of service. And um, and then when they get all of these uh, conductors out of the shoes and into these rollers for so many miles, they want to pull in new conductor. And so the goal was take the conductors out, put them in the rollers, and keep going down the line doing that while doing this all energized. And then at the end, at the end of the night, being able to turn on the power. So doing the work during the day, turning on the power at night. And they wanted to do this over a period of, I believe it was 10 hours. And then once all these conductors, the lines were on rollers, they would tie the new conductor to the old conductor and then pull it through. So they're doing stuff over a period of days to be able to save time for the entire project in the end. Because what they claim is it's $400,000 an hour that they're losing when the power is not on. So that's millions of dollars in savings that they're going to have by using this product that we're going to come up with for them. It'll be a new product that comes out. It will be an energized roller. And hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to present it to you. But it is something that we're currently working on with the customer. So again, when you turn the power off, you're losing money, right? And furthermore, your customers don't have what they need, electricity to get the job done. And so, in this case, we're providing products that are going to allow them to keep the power on, or get the job done faster, so they're not going to have such a long outage, which is going to reduce revenue, and is also going to keep customers from not having the power they need to continue doing what they're doing on a daily basis. So that's the purpose of this product. I hope it makes sense, and if it doesn't, I'm here for questions. I welcome any questions, comments. But that's what this next time is for right here, this period of time. If you have questions or comments, please do not hesitate to ask for questions or comment on whatever it is that you would like to say.
Yeah, this is George Molina. On that energized roller, is that for a regular insulator or a pin type or post?
It will be, if I'm not mistaken, it was going to be like the porcelain style insulators. It should work just fine for the polymer insulators as well. I'm not sure if that's answering your question or not, but it's on an H structure. So you have three phases, right? And each one of them is hanging down. And so what's happening there, it's actually going over the Hudson River is where this is at. It's, to be more specific with the project. And what they're doing is every day for whatever time they have to work, they're going to take the conductors out of the shoes and then connect a roller to the end of the insulator, and then place the conductor inside. Place the roller on the insulator and then place the conductor on the roller. And that's going to be what they're working towards for quite a few structures over a few different miles.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And glad you joined the call, George. Been a while since we talked.
Yes, sir.
I didn't see who all was coming in. I just started talking. Anybody else with questions? Again, no question is a dumb question. Somebody else may be thinking the same thing. There's been times I got off of the call and somebody called me and said, "No, I didn't want to ask this question on the call today." And of course, you're welcome to do that. I'm just saying you might not know it. Somebody else might have the same type of question.
Morning, Noah. Brian here.
Yeah, Brian.
Hey, just so the pole setter is sitting flush then against the dirt. So the
Yes,
pole
sir.
basically hydrovac excavated right down to the base of the pole,
Right.
right?
Right.
And of course during the process, they're holding the pole in place, putting in the setters and then tightening it all up, and then coming back with it next morning.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, in his case, he does them quite a few at the same time. I don't remember if it was an 8-hour day that he had or something less. I want to say it was something less. And so he calculated how much time it would take for him to do so many poles, and then that's what he would do on day one of hydrovacing and getting the poles ready for pulling after, for the next day is what he was going for. And the upcoming meetings that we're going to have over the next few months, there's another product that this same gentleman came up with, maybe even a third one. There's another one that we're working on for sure for him. But he's very innovative. He comes up with a lot of different ideas, and then he needs our help to finish them out. But there'll be another product of his I think that we're going to be doing next month. But he's got to save time. He doesn't have very much time to get things done, as I'm sure the problem is everywhere. Everybody's got to keep the power on, and the faster you can get this done, the better.
Just out of curiosity, how far down would those typically be sitting? If we got,
I'm going to say about midways down, and that's another good thing that we need to add on that brochure because I did not see that on there. I'm going to look again right quick, but right off the bat, without thinking, I would say you're about midways down, and I'm not seeing that here. It's giving the capacity of what they could hold. Safer, superior standard on a pole sitter can be positioned in the hole and extended with impact drivers to stabilize the pole. Gives you the ability to complete excavation work on the day of the pole replacement, saves time on outages, street closures, and crew workload. Yeah, it doesn't have anywhere about how far it's going down. That's something we need to add, but I'm going to say your safe point is going to be about midways down. So if they've dug down, I'm using this as an example, 8 foot, then they should go down at least about 4 foot into the hole.
and what do we got? What do you got to hold it 4 feet down in the hole?
As far as the pole setter itself,
Yeah.
the hole there on the top, because when this is retracted, it's going to be more about the center of gravity, and so it's not going to want to tilt forward as if it would if it was extending out. So imagine this completely retracted. This hole at the top here, you could tie what he was doing was tying a rope onto it and then lowering it down one at a time. And then while it was sitting there, then you would drive out the jack to catch the pole here. And at that point, you didn't have to hold the jack anymore on this one. And then you would do it here on this one and so on. With the new design, this piece here is no longer I forgot the term I was using, but it's not like a socket in where you have to have a socket from a tool go on over this. It's more of a round flat edge like you see here, and then it comes down over it, and then that's how you would go into that to be able to turn this and extend it out. So essentially, as long as everything has its locking feature on, like the extension onto the impact driver is locked in to where it won't come out, and then the same down here with the socket, then you could just then lower it down all as one component. And then once you get down about the right dimension, then you can drive that impact driver to push it out into the pole.
Hey, Noah, John here. Can you put the pole in the center and put the pole sitter around the pole?
Hadn't been asked that question yet, but I will find out and let you know. I'm gonna say probably no. I think what we're looking for, that's gonna be my answer right off the cuff here, is because I think what we're looking for is more of a solid edge here on this back end to be able to support it, and then use the jacks on the other end to push against there. In the event that in the situation where you would have it in the center, then you're probably going to have a bigger hole than what you're going to have here to be able to drive the jacks out.
And the alignment of the pole sitter is always 3. There's always 3. You have to use 3, right?
Yes, sir. That's what we're going for right now, is 3. Now, does that mean 2 cannot be used? There may be a situation where we look at that. This is something, it's going to be something like with all of our other products. We're coming right out of the chute here with saying you have to use 3. If you're in a situation, if your customer is in a situation that says, I really can't get 3 in here, is there a way we can do 2? At that point, we'd go back to engineering and say, look, this is a situation, this is the size of the pole they're dealing with. They want to know if they can use 2, and then we can check into that at that point. Same but different is like with triple line lifters. When we started off with that, it was, well, this is what we think everybody's going to need. And then we came back and it was like, hey, well, we got what we call a delta structure. We need a different insulator and a different wire harness. Oh, okay. And then somebody said, well, I need to have 16-foot instead of 14-foot spreads. And so we came up with a solution for that. So the same thing here. This is what we're seeing so far. But if we run into a situation where somebody, for some reason, can't get but 2 in there, it's going to be dependent upon that situation. And I would say, give me a call and let's talk about it. And let's see what options we might have. But right now, this is the general standard practice. Good questions, by the way. Anyone else? Or if you need more, if I didn't do that right, let me know. I'll be glad to explain more. Any more questions or comments? Okay. After we officially end the call here, I'll stay on for a little bit in case somebody may have some other things I'd like to talk about. I don't have a full list in front of me of everybody that has attended, but for those of you that have been here today, thank you very much for joining us on this LineWise webinar of the month, talking about the LineWise Pole Sitter. Keeping in mind that there are other products that we are developing that are in line with the same idea here, creating products that are going to save time, number one, and then some of them are saving time today for what's going to be done tomorrow. Outages are costing money, and we can't afford to deal with them too long. So we're looking for products that are going to help our customers get past those obstacles faster and safely in that way. So if you have similar problems, different situations, for example, in this case, it was supporting the pole. In the case of the customer in the Northeast, it's trying to keep the lines energized, but bringing in new conductor on older structures. And so they're trying to find a way to re-energize the lines that night by putting these on rollers. One of the more dominant or prominent manufacturers in the market today has rollers, but won't allow them to be used with energized conductors. We are the type that'll run towards those kinds of things to try to figure out how we can provide that solution for that situation. If it can't be done safely, we're not going to offer it. We have not had accidents with our products in the years past, knocking on wood, and we don't intend to start going towards products that are going to put us at risk for the future. And so we're looking for ways to try to help with those kinds of applications. So please remember, we are not just selling the products that we offer today. We've been in situations where people have said, well, we went to this real well-known manufacturer of these types of products in this industry. And they said, sorry, we don't have it. What we have is in our catalog. And that's not us. If we don't have it in our catalog or on our website for selling, then we want you to bring it to our attention and say, this is the problem I'm having. How can we get around it? And we will try to help you figure it out. And hopefully be able to provide you with that product in the end. So remember, we're not just selling what we have, we're looking to sell what we don't have just yet. And so we want to hear from you on that. So next month's product is going to be along the same lines, something that's saving time on projects that the guy at Salt River Project came up with. And then as this continues on every month, there'll be more products that we offer. If you have other colleagues or other people in your company, whether you're the buyer or the customer in this situation, or if you're the reseller and everybody wasn't able to make it, and you'd like for us to talk about this with your particular group or your particular company, do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can find my contact information at line-wise.com. You can call me at 254-757-1177 or email me at Noah, Noah, at diversifiedproduct.com, no S on the end of product, and ask those kinds of questions. And this video will soon be available on YouTube. You'll be able to see it there. It'll also probably be available on our website also. So again, thank you very much for joining us today. We want to hear from you. If you have any questions, hopefully this will help you sell more products to those of you as resellers. If your customers, hopefully this will help you in your projects. And if not your particular project, maybe you have a project where we can help you come up with a new product. So again, thank you again for joining us, and be looking for an invitation for the next one. Will be approximately 30 days from today, probably the last Thursday of the month is what we may be looking for. But be on the lookout. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great day and a great week. Talk to you soon.